Hello everyone, welcome back to another Magic the Gathering video. Today I went through the Amonkhet pre-release at my local game store. I built a black and white deck. It started out as a black, blue, and white deck at first, and then I just trimmed out the blue and went black-white. So I'm going to be showing you the deck, going to be breaking down how the deck played and things like that. So we'll be right back with that. We're going to start off here with our lands. I have 8 swamps, 6 plains, 1 Painted Bluffs, taps for colorless, and also you can pay 1, tap it to add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. Add 1 Evolving Wilds, and 1 Cradle of the Accursed. Taps for colorless, and you can pay 3, tap it, sacrifice Cradle of the Accursed, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. Activate this ability only anytime you can cast a sorcery. We're going to move into our creatures. I had 1 Anointer Priest, 1 and a white for a 1/3. Whenever a creature token enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life. It has Embalm for 3 and a white, so you exile it from your graveyard, create a token that's a copy of it, except it's a white zombie human cleric with no mana cost. Embalm only as a sorcery. 1 of that. We had 1 Archfiend of Ifnir, 3 and 2 black for a 5/4 with flying. Whenever you cycle or discard another card, put a -1/-1 counter on each creature your opponent's control. It could also cycle for 2, so you can pay 2 and discard it from your hand to draw a card. I had 1 Baleful Ammit, or Ammit, however you pronounce that. 2 and a black for a 4/3 with lifelink. When it enters the battlefield, put a -1/-1 counter on target creature you control. Add 1 Cursed Minotaur. 2 and a black for a 3/2 with Menace, so it can only be blocked by 2 or more creatures. He had 3 Doomed Dissenters, 1 and a black for a 1/1. When it dies, create a 2/2 black zombie token. So we use that with the Ammit. So when this thing entered, if I had a Dissenter out, I just targeted the Dissenter, and then the Dissenter would die, and I would get a 2/2 zombie token. Add 1 Fanbearer, 1 white for a 1/2. The ability to pay 2, tap it to tap target creature. This thing really is a really good card. I had a lot of luck with this guy. I would basically play it, tap my opponent's stuff so they couldn't block with it, or on their turn, I would pay 2, tap it, and make it so they couldn't attack with their big creatures. And had 1 Glory Bound Initiate. This was my promo card. So 1 and a white for a 3/1. You may exert Glory Bound Initiate as it attacks. When you do, it gets +1/+3 and gains lifelink until the end of turn, and the exerted creature doesn't untap during its next untap step. Add 1 Gust Walker, 1 and a white for a 2/2. It can also be exerted, so if you exert it, it gets +1/+1 and gains flying until the end of turn. Add 1 Regal Caracal, 3 and 2 white for a 3/3. It's a creature, it's a cat. Other cat creatures you control get +1/+1 and have lifelink. When it enters the battlefield, create 2/1 white cat creature tokens with lifelink. We had 2 Rhet-Crop Spearmaster, 2 and a white for a 3/1. You may exert it to as it attacks. If you exert it, it gets +1/+0 and gains first strike until the end of turn. I had 1 Sacred Cat, so 1 white for a 1/1. For lifelink, and it can embalm for 1, so if it's in your graveyard, you pay 1 and you get a zombie version of it. You had 1 Wasteland Scorpion, 2 and a black for a 2/2 with Death Touch. You can also cycle it for 2. And we had 1 Watchers of the Dead, 2 colorless for a 2/2 artifact creature. Exile. You can exile it. Each opponent chooses 2 cards in their graveyard and exiles the rest. Moving into our enchantments. We have 1 Cartouche of Solidarity, 1 white. Enchant creature you control. When it enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 white warrior creature token with vigilance. And the enchanted creature gets +1/+1 and first strike. Into our instance, I have 1 in Oketra's name, 1 in a white. Instant. Zombies, creatures you control, get +2/+1 until the end of turn. Other creatures you control get +1/+1 until the end of turn. We have quite a few zombies, so this worked pretty well. We had 1 supernatural stamina, 1 black. Till the end of turn, target creature gets +2/+0 and gains when this creature dies, return it to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control. So you want to, like, let's say, block something with your where is it, with the Doomed Dissenter. You pay black, throw that on the Doomed Dissenter, and then the Doomed Dissenter becomes um, a 3/1. And after this goes off, um, let's say your creature died, the Dissenter would die, creating a 2/2 zombie token, as well as a supernatural stamina, which would return the Dissenter into play tapped. Move into our sorceries. We had one Never return, so it's like a fusion card. So 1 and 2 black, destroy target creature or planeswalker. And once it's in your graveyard, you can pay 3 and a black for Aftermath. Exile target creature card from a graveyard. Create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. And one Painful Lesson. 2 and a black. Target player draws 2 cards and loses 2 life. Had one Stir of Sands. 4 and 2 black. Create 3 2/2 black zombie creature tokens. You can also cycle it for 3 and a black. When you cycle it, you still create a 2/2 black zombie creature token, and I just love this artwork. You have these two somewhat serious-looking zombies on the left and in the middle, and then on the right you have this weird bug-eyed fish thing that looks like it's just freaking out. Love the artwork on this. And finally, we have one Unburden. 1 and 2 black. Target player discards 2 cards. It can also be cycled for 2. So basically, it's just a zombie deck. You have like kind of like a zombie cat deck. So a lot of nice ways to get zombies out. I really like the Doomed Dissenters. So 1/1s, you just block of them or something like that. Chump block, and you get a 2/2 when it dies. I like using those in conjunction with the Supernatural Stamina, or also using it in conjunction with the Baleful Ammit. When it comes in, you put a -1/-1 counter on your Dissenter, and then you get your creature token. So, had a lot of fun with this deck. I'll leave a deck list in the description below. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the future. Take care. Have a good one.